The 13th floor. The 13th floor.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. I am your moderator today. You know me. They call me Kerrol. Sometimes they call me Coach K. Most folks, though, will come to know me as the Growth Alchemist. Today, I am here. It is an honor and a privilege. We've got one of our unique one-on-one podcast episodes. If you haven't tuned into those, you can go all the way back to the beginning and you'll find some, and then you'll find an update to those probably around podcast number 85 or so. But today we have the special privilege and honor of giving you all a little bit of insight into the one, the only man they call the Sounds of Blackness.
Whoa. Now you took it black. See, you say you weren't going to go there, but that's all right. It's all right. I'll take it.
Also known as Mr. Kenneth. I won't give out his middle name, Emeghebo.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you some insight into the newest member of the 13th floor. Man, we're excited. This guy, he's got a whole lot to offer to the listeners, a whole lot to offer to the 13th floor, and he's got big things ahead of him. We know it. So as we proceed to give you what you need, Mr. Kenneth Emeghebo. What's up, sir?
Nothing much, man. Been running around all day, but feeling good. Happy to have caught this. I literally probably got in around 10, 15 minutes ago and set up, and now I'm here. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, that's okay, man. Look, I got in 5 minutes ago.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, man, absolutely. Absolutely. This is what we do, man. It's okay.
It's all good.
The 13th floor. We don't give out access codes too often, man, but you're definitely worthy. So we're excited to have you here. So
Appreciate it.
man. So tell the listeners your name. Tell them where it comes from.
Oh, okay. You're taking it back there. So name, obviously, Kenneth, straight American. Kenneth is a very American name. But when you move on to the Ikena middle name, Emeghebo last name, that is Nigerian. The reason for that is my father's Nigerian, mother is Guyanese. So I am a Guygerian American. That's
a Guygerian.
A Guygerian
wow.
American.
A Guygerian American.
Yes.
For those of you out there that may have a similar split, there you go. You now just found out how to break that down. You don't need 23andMe.
Nigerian all the way, man. American nice. Because of where nice. I live. Yep.
Good. So unlike the other one-on-one shows, I'm going to have to give you guys a little bit of background because you guys got to learn a little bit about the fellas. So Kenny and I go back probably to mid-90s at the U. Of course, we always keep the U family rolling through the 13th floor. Kenny's going to be a resident, though. So, so talk to us, man. So I think when I got there, you might have been a sophomore or a junior?
Sophomore.
Yeah. Man, Kenny is from Strong Island.
Originally, Brooklyn originally. Yes, Strong Island. I haven't said that in a long time because now I live in Queens. So, yes.
Yeah.
Strong Island. Yep.
Oh, nice. So, see, I didn't even know that you were originally from Brooklyn, man. So, I was born in Brooklyn, right?
Same. Nice.
Yeah. Wow. East 21st in Dorchester.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm an East Flatbush kid,
Okay.
Yeah, Snyder Avenue,
nice.
Kings Highway, Snyder Avenue, in that area.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, man. I actually went to Flatbush Academy before we moved to New York. Before we moved to Miami.
Okay.
So that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how many siblings, man?
So 3 siblings, and it's a beautiful setup. It's actually 2 boys, 2 girls. My family is very unique in that way where my parents are cool because there's 2 siblings. So my initials, K-I-E. My youngest sister, her initials, K-I-E. Got a brother, Mike, M-C-E. And my older sister, Melissa, M-C-E. So 2 boys, 2 girls, and we each sharing our initials together with each other. My parents did that by, you know, on purpose.
On purpose. Yeah.
On
Wow.
purpose.
So what was that like growing up, man? So three siblings, Guyanese, Nigerian, but in America. So what was that like growing up?
So the cool thing I'll tell you really quick is that with my siblings, the way it's set up is we actually really got along really well, every single one of us. Um, every single one of us got along very well with each other. No beef ever. Growing up, people always were like, "Yo, you guys remind me of like the Cosbys, the way you guys all get along." So that's, if you ever want to think about the dynamic of my family was growing up, think of the Cosby Show. Before like now Cosby, like
Right.
back when the Cosby Show was the Cosby.
Back when it was still cool.
Yeah, back when it was still cool to be affiliated with anything Cosby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. So, man, look, I'm not gonna let you off that easy, man, because I still want to know what it was like growing up in that household. So, you didn't just have island in the Guyanese, which is not really an island, but we consider it an island.
It's Caribbean, the Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah, we consider it Caribbean. But then you also had the African background as far as Nigeria. So, what was that like as far as discipline and things like that in the house?
Oh, I was going there. I was definitely going to go there. So it's funny, the way that my house was growing up, which makes me who I am today and who I've been, since you've known me, is, when you come into my house, you might as well feel like you're stepping into Nigeria, because that's how my house was run. My father didn't do anything any other way. He wasn't trying to be American, because that's not what he was. My mother, Guyanese, that's what she was. So everything that I did growing up, raised the way that I was, is the way that my father was raised back in Nigeria. That was my upbringing. So you want to know what it was? Was it strict? Yes. Was it disciplined? Yes. Did you have to achieve? Oh, hell yes, you had to achieve. But then there was also that caring, loving side that we had. Like I said, we all got along. Sundays, we all sat around the table for Sunday breakfast, just chopped it up. And having all those different personalities, my parents, because both my parents, both doctors, my siblings, really smart. So we always had conversations that really circled around, like whatever topic was going on in someone's head, you just start talking about it. And we just all joined in, offered our opinion. It was real great to have those kind of, diverse opinions on things.
Nice. All right. So we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Go.
So you've just graduated high school.
Yep.
You've applied to colleges and
Yep.
you get accepted to the University of Miami. What made you pick Miami?
You have been there, right? You've been there, right? Bruh.
I've been there, but
bruh. No, it was out of all the schools, I wasn't really like a New England State kind of guy, those old school classic kind of colleges. I like the kind of colleges that, coming from New York, I like something that's kind of fast paced, upbeat. There's always something to do, lively. So that's what I really was attracted to when I went to Miami. I really liked that about it. There was it was really diverse and it was really fast paced. That was, I think, the thing that got me the most, was like how fast things were and how cool things were. And of course the weather. Well, the weather was beautiful, except when I got there, because I got there at the same time Hurricane Andrew got there. That was my welcome to Miami, was Hurricane Andrew.
Right. So you guys had like your year was delayed, right?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, when I got there, they actually made us sleep. I remember so clearly. They made us sleep in the hallways when the hurricane hit. We put down our hurricane shutters. I got about 3 of those ripped off. I remember sleeping in the hallway. And when I was sleeping in the hallway, you slept right outside your door. This is so clear to me. You slept right outside your door. And I remember I was sleeping, and all of a sudden, like, I'm sleeping on the floor, and I start touching the ground. And I'm like, yo, why does it feel like somebody like peed on the floor over here? Like, what the hell is all this? So what happened is I opened the door to my room. Hurricane shutters were ripped off. I'd say about 3 of them. Water was pouring into my room. So it was flooded on the ground. And luckily I had stuff. We had to put all our stuff on top of, the beds and everything, what else. But that was my welcome to Miami. Hurricane Andrew. Son of a...
Wow. Well, hey, it got better from there, right? It got better.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What did you major in when you first got to Miami?
Wow, that was so long ago. Psychology. I majored in psychology, and I think I stuck with that. And the reason that I did stick with majoring in psychology was because I thought that, I'm always fascinated with the mind and the brain and the way things work and the way why people do the things that they do, why they don't do the things that they do, and how I can help people from a place that comes from a cerebral place and understanding. Because I think that, and I guess that's kind of leads into fast forward to how I am now. When you're helping people, when you're trying to do stuff for people, you want to make sure that you come from a place of understanding and not just the way I was raised, this is the way you're supposed to be. So I was always fascinated with the mind and the way that it works.
Right. All right. So let's get to some exciting stuff here, right?
Go.
So
that wasn't exciting?
At Miami, psychology. I mean, that was all exciting.
I was kidding. Go ahead.
The people want to know more, right?
Go. So, get it.
So at Miami, psychology, and you kind of laid the groundwork for this, right? So fast paced, right? And so much to do. South Beach, just the city itself. You get into a little bit of promoting.
A lot of it. You can say a lot.
a lot of promoting.
A lot. Yeah.
A lot of extracurricular activities.
A lot.
Things start to go awry.
Good
right?
word.
We're talking about. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we're in about 1996.
Yeah.
And man, talk about a fun time. Just so we'll cover just some real light ones. One, I remember us being on South Beach and we were promoting. I think we did promotion for DJ Epps at the time.
All the time. Yep.
Shout out to Epps and 210 Jack.
Yep.
Yeah, I just took you back with that, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember those guys. Yep.
Yeah.
I still hear him too. I still hear Epps on the radio.
Yep. Yeah. So we're supposed to be handing out flyers. We're not gonna say what we did with the flyers, but we end up promoting and it's time to go home.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And we're leaving and we see a gentleman riding by us on a bike who didn't have some kind words to say, and all of a sudden he pulls out a gun and he starts shooting. And somehow we end up in the car, not harmed, and we're out of there like, man, should we turn back around and run this guy over? And we didn't do that. We decided to keep going.
Wow.
We had a infamous road trip that was a last minute road trip. 3 guys going up in a Mitsubishi Eclipse seemed like a good idea at the time.
Wow, Kerrol, you doing this? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Four grown men coming back in a Mitsubishi Eclipse, which was an even worse idea. Anyway, as I said,
with luggage and stuff.
Yeah, with luggage and stuff. Right. But as I say, things are going a little bit awry. And I think we were in July, shortly, I think it was your birthday. And shortly after that, man, you were leaving, right, to go back to New York because things were going a little bit awry. So what was that time like for you?
When you say, let me make sure I'm clear, everything you just said, because that was awesome. All of that time was awesome. I don't regret a second of what happened, all that stuff. You forgot the part where you and I did a road trip and we rode and I drove your stick shift car. You forgot the time when you were driving and that car, you saw it in the rear view coming up behind us. You said, yo, we're about to get hit. And it was somebody drunk and they smashed into the back of, there's a lot of stuff we did. And I can't say that I regret a second of it, bro. Not a second.
Right.
So when you say awry, you know what? I could say that I feel like I might have been living my best life in Miami. So when I was saying the stuff about promoting too, I think I did a little more promoting than I did going to class. I can't even lie, to be very honest. And speaking as a grown man now, yes, I did.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Because this is the part where you probably get into a little bit about what you do now, right? Sure. Because what was happening, right? If from my perspective, right? And you can tell me if I'm kind of spot on. And this is what happens to a lot of people that go to college. You go to college and you're doing things because it's what your parents want you to do.
Correct.
But meanwhile, you're in college and you're starting to discover the things that you love and actually want to do. And you get to that kind of crossroads. And I think even though we were promoting and doing things like that, in the end, it all came down to having a love of seeing people enjoy life and enjoying life and trying to help people get to that best life.
Indeed.
And you get to a crossroads. So you end up going back home because, you know, the parents at the time feel like, man, what are you doing? This isn't what we sent you down there for.
Not at all. They were tight.
Right. Not at all. Right.
Not at all. They didn't even understand why I wanted. They didn't even understand why I wanted to stay down there at all. Because I wanted to stay. I 1,000,000% want to stay. Yeah. They were like, "Nah, you're done."
Yeah, done. This is what is this foolishness you are doing? Right. So.
Yes. Yes.
So, man. And the reason why I want to go here is because I feel like, look, every episode is one where we can help other people that are probably going through the same thing. I know that's happening to this day. Oddly enough, just probably 3 weeks ago, I spoke to somebody that's a current student there. And he's going through this crisis where he's about to graduate in biomedical engineering and feels like he's a failure. Like he didn't do everything he should have done there because of what his GPA is and because of the pressure his parents are putting on him. But what do you ultimately feel you learned from going through that, and how did that shape you moving forward?
So, like, I'll even take it back to what we were just saying, the way that I was raised. So I was raised in a house, like I said, like Nigeria. People don't know about Nigerian customs and the way that people do things in Nigeria. It's very, it's very strict. It's very, expectations are like through the roof of the roof of the roof. Like, you need to be successful in everything you do. In every single thing you do, you need to be successful. You need to be a high achiever. You need to be the best at whatever it is. So that's a lot of pressure. But then when I went to the U, it was just that. I was like, wait, freedom? Nope, no parents? No. I could go to South Beach every single day? Just every day? Because I was the kind of person that I'll say, like, the Union, if I wasn't on South Beach, I probably was in the Union a lot. So, like I said, the classes, yeah. But what I learned from that is that you have to create some type of balance. I didn't have a balance. I really was loving the life of the U. I loved everything about it. I loved all the people that I interacted with. And what that showed me for now is, if you don't find that balance, you are setting yourself up for a down the road of hardship, and the beauty is that I still had the support of my parents. They might've been like, you messing up there, but you're going to come back and do something, whatever. And I excelled everything I needed to do when I came back and kind of got myself regrounded in who I was. But I also can look back, and even how you just went down memory lane with me, everything you spoke about, man, it just made me smile, because I was like, I remember that. That was awesome. That was great. So I don't regret anything I did. I could have probably planned out how I executed a lot of things differently or managed my time differently. Because I was like, I'd be at South Beach. I'd come back, and I probably was at South Beach with you, Kerrol. And then I'd come back with you, and then I'd be ready to go to class, and someone would be like, yo, we're about to go to South Beach. I'm like, and I would just go right back to South Beach right after I came back to campus. So I think I could have probably, been like, all right, I got my fill hanging out with Kerrol. Like, we were out there, we did our thing, we chilled, we went up in the club, we did whatever, and then that was it. But I kind of really was drawn a lot to that life, that South Beach, Miami life, a lot.
Yeah. And you know what, man, I think for a lot of island kids, a lot of kids that originate from the continent of Africa, there's this pressure, and it's almost like you're in this boot camp until you leave and go to school, and all of a sudden you experience this freedom, And it's one thing that, like, today I would challenge parents on is that, look, that balance starts before you leave home, because when you have that imbalance, you don't know how to deal with it once you now can make decisions on your own and you're not under the watchful eye of the parents 24/7. And you don't know how to deal with that. So you don't know how to strike that balance. So
Yeah,
the
but
parents out
but
there,
you know what? And I don't mean to touch up. The hard part about that, and I kind of see the road you're going down. A lot of parents that come from like Africa, Nigeria, they number one, they don't. At least back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then, they don't know how to allow you those freedoms because all they know is what I said: succeed and achieve, do your best, be the best. I would come home from school. I remember in high school, I would come home and be like, "Yo, I got the highest grade in the class. I got like a 98." What's my father's response? Why didn't you get 100? You know, so
right?
they don't really see that balance. So I get it, and having conversations now with my father is are it's so different than it was back then. I couldn't talk to him about things the way that I do now because he was just like, succeed, achieve. I sent you to school to be successful. That's it. That's all.
Right.
So it's hard to strike that balance, and you can't really have that conversation. And then when you try to say that to parents, and I'll use my father as an example. If I try to tell him, you know, Dad, you have to lighten up, you have to be calm, he'll be like, what? I'm your father. Where I'm from, we do it this way, and that's the way you're going to do it. I don't want to hear anything else. There is no other way. So I don't know if that's exactly where you're going, but that's what I remember.
No, I mean, you're absolutely on it, man. I just feel like it's funny to think about how long ago that was, and then I get a call from a current student there, expressing to me about how, his parents wanted him to be an engineer and he doesn't want to be an engineer. And, he's got this, let's just call it a 2.85 and, biomechanical engineering. He feels like he's a failure. And I'm just like, dude,
Yep, I can relate.
really? You got a 2.85 in biomechanical engineering. How many people did you see that looked like you in that building when you were studying? And he's like, none.
But that's you. But that's you saying that.
Right.
Your parents, they don't care about who else is in that building. They don't care about that person. They're like, am I that person's parent? Am I that person's parent? I'm your parent. And it's about
that's
you.
True.
That's
true.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
But he's graduating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like I told him, I said, hey man, they don't print GPAs on degrees.
In an African parent's mind, they do. They do. See, part of it boils down to also the parent. It's true. It is. The parent wants to have the ability to say at parties, when they meet people, oh, my son, how's he doing? Oh, he's great. He's the best. He's doing this. He goes to this school. He's doing that. They want that. A lot of it is like, how like parents have that bumper sticker on their car. My child is on the honor roll at whatever. So the world could see him. African parents, at least my parents, wanted the ability to verbalize that at any moment about all of their children.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Totally understandable. And it's like, even now, my parents are prideful about what position I hold, what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm sure your parents are too. They're just like, oh, our son does blah, blah, blah.
All the time.
And since we're on that, what do you do now? What is your 9 to 5? And then what is your aspiration outside of your 9 to 5?
Sure. My 9 to 5 actually is it's a continuation of what my aspirations are. So my 9 to 5, obviously I'm holding down 9 to 5. I am a career advisor and a business developer at a college here in New York City. And as well as maintaining what my passion is that I facilitate workshops. I love doing workshops. I love standing in front of groups of people, going back to, you said the lessons that you learn. I learned a lot of lessons in Miami. I learned a lot of lessons when I came back from Miami. I learned a lot of lessons prior to Miami. And I always learned that, if you're given so much, because I can't fault my parents, they want the best for me. And that's a beautiful thing. And I always feel like if you're given so much to whom much is given, much is expected. So I always want to make sure I give back as much as was given to me, because I know that and I've actually worked with that population. I've worked in the education field probably for my whole career, mostly focusing on youth development. And what I've come to see is there's a lot of young people out there that look like you and me that have never experienced some of the things that we take for granted, being being people who've gone to college in Miami or just college in general or experienced the world. I've had people where, young people come along and, I remember I took a group of high school students from the school I worked at in Brooklyn to upstate on a bus. And I remember I'm on the bus with them and they started going crazy. And I'm like, yo, you guys need to calm down. They're like, yo, Mr. Kenny, yo, what's that? What's that out there? I look out the window. And when I looked out the window, you know what they saw? They saw cows. Simple stuff, cows. And that was like, it blew their mind that they saw cows. And they saw all this farmland that we were passing. So I think about those moments like that. And it reminds me all the time, like, to me, you see a cow, of course, a cow. Everybody sees a cow. Everybody doesn't see cows. Everybody doesn't experience certain things. So then I think of all the stuff that was given to me by my parents, and I share that with a lot of the people that I work with. And it proves to be quite valuable with them, especially. So again, my aspirations, workshops, trainings, professional and personal development. My 9-to-5, career advisement, which kind of ties into that, as well as business development, finding jobs for people, helping them get placed in jobs, helping them feel confident going into interviews and doing jobs. So a lot of counseling. That's the circle of my background.
Nice. Two more things we're gonna cover before we go, man. So I know family's really important to you.
1,000,000%.
You have your wife, you have your two kids, your two beautiful kids. Man, if you guys see these kids, it's amazing to see their interactions as a brother and sister. It's amazing to see Kenny taking them to the different things they do, whether it be baseball. I think your daughter does dance, right? A little bit.
So we got baseball, the boy,
Yep.
baseball, basketball, soccer. He's in the gifted and talented program. So he's always doing some kind of extracurricular something. Daughter does swimming, tap, ballet, and salsa. I think she probably wants to do something else. And then in addition, just to the different family stuff that we do. So my wife, she's Puerto Rican and Dominican. So our kids, you said you want to talk about a mix with me. Our kids are Puerto Rican, Dominican, Nigerian, Guyanese, Americans. And they speak Spanish fluently. Yeah. So
Wow.
family's big. Yeah.
Yeah, super important. I know at least 2 years in a row now. I know you spent some extensive time in Puerto Rico. So
Indeed.
what is that like?
Puerto Rico, beautiful, awesome. I always remember saying to my wife when I first went there, I felt like, I was new to the place, didn't really know what was going on, felt a little bit, like, all right, I'm just going here, checking things out. And it's funny because they thought that I was pretty quiet when I went there. And I remember that. They always used to be like, is he okay? Is he okay? He's so quiet. And I kind of was getting used to the thing. Man, now I go to Puerto Rico every single day and I don't care. I love it. And so we go there. And the beautiful thing is because my wife has a lot of family there. She's also very big on family. So we make sure that we keep our kids aware of who they are outside of just being these two cool kids from Queens. They're two cool kids from Queens with a pretty interesting background, and like family that they have behind them. And they need to know who these people are, So that's what we do.
Man, that's a beautiful, not just a story, man, but a commitment on the part of you and your wife to make sure that they know both sides of their family. I mean, there's just so much history there that, man, I mean, they're at an advantage compared to a lot of other kids that don't have that mixture. And it's really cool, man. I mean, a lot of times, like I follow Kenny on social media and, you'll see him walking the kids to whatever activity they have. You'll see him picking them up. You'll see, it's just hilarious. And then,
I got to put some more stuff out there because I feel like I kind of am keeping them to myself a little bit recently. So I'll share a little bit.
Well, we don't know why you're being selfish, man, but absolutely, man. Hey, that's the type of stuff that they say Black fathers don't do, right? Yeah. So absolutely, there are people out there doing it. And, man, just to see their personalities and you can kind of see, Kenny. I don't really know his wife that well, but you can see Kenny and then you can see the things that must be his wife for sure. Pretty awesome to see. All right, man. So we're going to cover this and then we'll close this thing out.
Go.
So recently, and you can tell me, I think it's been about 2 years, you recommitted yourself to the gym.
Ooh, okay. That makes me
And
happy. Yes.
yeah, that makes you happy, right? You guys hear the response, the reaction that makes him happy.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted your life, and what do you think that's done for you at this point in your life?
Sure. So, man, you just struck a happy chord. And it's funny because I knew I had to get on this podcast at 9. I was trying to get my stuff. I told you I got home like at 10 minutes. I usually lay my stuff out for the gym for the next morning, the night before, because I get there. I'm at the gym every day, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's my time, because I think the most efficient and effective use of my time in the gym is 5 o'clock in the morning. I've gone there in the afternoon. A bunch of people who want to stand around and take selfies and lift 5-pound weights, and then just sit and talk on their phone or text and take up time. So, but for me personally, what has that done for me? It's funny. I used to have, and I'll say, so you said dedicated to the gym. I used to have a membership to a gym. I can't even say I went more than twice a week, if that, within 2 months, every 2 months. I think every time we were considering canceling that membership, that's the only time I'd be like, no, I'm gonna go. And I would go for like a day, then stop going. Now that I dedicated myself to going to the gym, obviously it makes me feel fantastic. I feel like I can do things I've never done before. I used to walk places or lift things. I used to be like, I can't lift that. I'd struggle and hurt the next day or tired. I don't feel that anymore at all. It's great for the mind, at least for me. What I've noticed is, because I'm the kind of person that, now that I'm dedicated to the gym, I try my best to, achieve a certain level. Then when I achieve that level, new goal, achieve a next level, new goal, achieve that next level. So what that does for me is mentally, when I say, you know what, Kenny, as long as you can convince yourself you can lift that or push that or do whatever or run that fast, then you could do the next thing after that, because now you're doing that and that's regular to you. So that's become like who I am, like me talking to you, walking down the street, waking up in the morning, eating food. That's what it's, it becomes like that to me. So I'm like, if I could do that every day, let me try something new. Translates over to now. I'm talking to you, Kerrol. How long have you guys had this podcast? Now I'm like, I'm part of the podcast. I tell myself I could do certain things that I never probably thought I could do. And it works, because I start getting in here. And that's what I do in the gym, because I used to go in the gym, and because I couldn't lift something, I would look around and be like, I'm going to just leave real quick and slide out. And I would slide out and just tell people, yeah, I went to the gym. It's never go. Now I'm one of the people. It's cool, because now I'm one of the people like, yo, I see you in here all the time. You know how to use this machine. You show me how you do that thing, you do whatever. And I like that, because now it's like, okay, I'm one of those guys now. And I used to be like, how could I get like that? So it's cool to see that I really, when you set your mind to something, it sounds so cliche, but it's so on point. When you really set your mind to something, you could really achieve damn near anything you want to do. I've lifted stuff that I'm like, never thought in my life I could lift, or gone more reps than I never thought I could go, because I beat myself here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it made me say I can't do it. And once I started to struggle a little bit, I stopped. Now when I struggle a little bit, I'm not going to curse on the podcast, but I'd be like, F that.
Oh, you can. We get an explicit rating every week.
So well, then I tell myself, fuck that. I'm going to lift this. I'm going to lift this for sure. I'm lifting this, and I'm not leaving until I lift this, and at least, throwing 3 or 4 more sets. And I tell myself that. And then when I go to stop, I'm yelling at myself in my head. People probably see me. I got the headphones on. They probably think, oh, that guy's just chilling. Meanwhile, in my head, I'm like, Ken, you better lift this fucking thing before you know. And I do it. And it feels good to come home and do it. I feel good, feel good, look good. It's just, so that in addition to doing the workshops and everything I do, I think my new passion and a new thing that I've created and made part of my lifestyle is going to the gym, because the two just go hand in hand, at least for me.
Nice, man. You know what? So they say the most successful people have some type of fitness regimen. And one of the things that I've been playing around with in my head lately, right? And eventually this is going to come out in some type of message or whatever, but, it's almost like the gym is to psychologically prepare you for the rest of life. Because if you look at it, the action of either pressing or pulling, right? So you're pressing away the things that are not for you, and you're pulling in the things that are for you. And it takes a certain amount of muscle memory for you to get to that point of consistently doing that. So you have your mind doing that, and you said it's a matter of your mind. It's not necessarily your physical composition or capability, but it's your mental capacity behind that that's driving it. And it's just something to prepare you for the things that you encounter every day. And that's awesome, man. I think, look, in the last 2 years, just watching you go to the gym, it's like I could see that you were on like the cusp of something else coming. And that was why I was just like, oh, now's the time. Let me go scoop Kenny, and get him here on the 13th floor, get him to come work with the guys, because I do feel like you're on the cusp of something bigger that's coming, man. And look, we just want to be a part of supporting you with doing that and do whatever we can to help you get there, man. So definitely appreciate you giving some additional insight, man. And look, ladies and gentlemen, there will be so much more. You don't want to miss it when I tell you that this is man, it's like free agency, and we got like the number one guy out there.
Nice.
So we welcome Kenny to the team, and please definitely leave your comments. You can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Vimeo, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on all those different venues. And please leave us some comments. Welcome Kenny to the team. And you'll be hearing more from him, and he doesn't know it, but I'm going to give him a chance to give us the closing message before we go. So the mic is yours, sir.
The mic is mine. Okay, so let me say, wow, this is very impromptu. So what I want to say is, first of all, I appreciate everything you said, man. I've appreciated you for years, and that's really how I base my life, on gratitude and appreciation for the people that are in my life, the people that have come in my life, the people that have left my life. I always try to take a piece of the people that I interact with, be it good, bad, or whatever, and know how to apply it to my life or remove it from my life. So I think that's one of the messages that I want to share with people. And even if anyone ever partakes in my workshops or sees something or anything that I do, one of the things I really want people to come away with saying is, you know what, I'm really happy that I had the opportunity to interact with Kenny, because I'm the kind of person that wants to make sure that you achieve and succeed and be the best person that you possibly could be. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you. As long as you think that you are the best person that you could be, that's really all that matters, because then what happens is that just shines through and it pushes through, and you're always going to be successful once you see it in here and here and here. So don't worry about anybody else. So that's my big thing for people. Just do your thing, be successful in your eyes.
Whew. And for those of you that don't know what the here, and here was, that was the head, that was the heart, and what was the third place, man?
Your eyes.
Here, and with your eyes.
With
Perfect.
your eyes, yep.
Man, powerful. As I told you guys, value added addition to the team, and we're looking forward to more. But that's our show here on the 13th floor. We look forward to the rest of the fellows coming back next week. In the meantime, peace from the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. 109.
The 13th floor. The 13th floor.